Okay. Team call night. Hi. It is April 25th. So for starters, we, as you all know, maybe you're new or maybe you've been around, or we back probably 2-ish months ago, your Diamond leaders decided to re-kick off our Monday or our weekly team calls. We have put forth a lot of effort and time and energy, and we promised you recognition and training and XYZ. And while it's been good, I will say that the people who continue to show up are doing the things, right? And we also have so many other resources and calls, and we're a part of a bigger, broader team that brings the thunder. And so instead of us continuing to invest time in kind of recreating or kind of retraining you on things that are already being done, I am just hoping you guys, and maybe this will also make you feel a little bit relieved as we're getting into a busier time of the year, to meet as a team on the first Monday of every month to kind of set intention, talk about all the different things that we're hosting as a team. And then the other Mondays of the month, prioritize getting on the Beatnik basic calls. And we did that before. And I know that occasionally I'll share when those are happening into the coach page, but I just feel really strongly about making sure that we're working smarter and not necessarily harder. Your Diamond leaders will come into the coach page a little more consistently, post in their coach pages, do quick go lives, work out loud a little bit more in there. I promise I will do recognition and recognize Brittany Gilbert for surpassing her goals. No, in all seriousness though, but kind of make sure that we're still touching on the things that we have promised that do excite us, that we do deserve, but just do it in the coach page. And so if you have those notifications off, or you don't frequent that group, or your coach groups, go ahead and do that, and try and just be a little bit more mindful when you're in there. If you see a new coach welcome, or someone rank advances, or someone comes in and says, I just shared a really vulnerable post. Like if you're taking the time to be on social media, take one more minute to take the next step to support or engage with whatever you're doing. So does that sound like an okay plan? And I'll make sure too that I am still adding things as events, even though I feel like that events notification doesn't really work anymore. Do you guys get notified? Yeah, so I'll put them in there for the next month, but mark on your calendars, Monday nights at 5 for the Beatnik basics, and the first Monday of the month for our kind of Coach Connect intentions call. Good. Okay. Next thing that I wanted to share. So you may have noticed, and if you're new, you're probably like, I don't know what you're talking about, but you'll get the hang of it. Those of us that are partnering on our monthly accountability groups, we're running them 3 weeks out of the month to make sure we're giving ourselves kind of a week off. Also, this is good for customers to not have something that's so great every single day, because I feel like that's when they tend to not really take full, not advantage, but like really appreciate the benefits that our community or our accountability groups offer. So that's one thing that's changed, and we've kind of systemized that. The next thing that you'll notice is last month we hosted a Coach 411 recruiting Facebook group where some of us went live and told our coach stories in hopes of inspiring others to join our coach team. So we are going to be hosting another one of those. The group will be the same exact group that it was last month, or I guess at the beginning of this month, except it's going to be called Talk Coaching to Me. Maybe you're in it and you notice Marlena's fabulous updated header graphic. That's going to kick off on Friday, and we're going to do things just a little bit different. We're hoping that you guys will be willing to fill out a little bio template that we're going to create in Canva, just to kind of explain who you are, what coaching has done for your life. It has a picture of you. So we're going to be posting those, just a few info posts this time. And then Saturday, the timing is still TBD, but we are going to have like an honest and open Zoom conversation and just have a discussion about coaching and kind of what we were fearful of, and similar to what Nikki and the other Beatnik leaders have created and spent like thousands and thousands of dollars to create. But yeah, just stream live into the group. People can catch it if they want live, or and if you have prospects in that group who you are wanting to become a coach, you are who I want to be a part of that conversation. Like, so have that be your motivation to invite people to join you to coach. And maybe that's what you need, you know? So we don't really have exactly dialed in on who is going to be a part of that conversation, but it's really going to be who puts forth the most effort to recruit and like get people in there. So I'm positive though, this powerhouse right here, like I feel confident with any of you speaking and answering questions. So that's kind of how we're changing things up. Am I missing anything else on it, Mara, that Brittany talked about? Yeah, I think that's about it. And we decided to stay in the group because I know for me, I actually did get quite a few people in the last one that had a lot of shit going on. And so I followed up and they're like, oh, I haven't gotten to the post. And so it was just, we're like, let's just stay in this group because who knows how many months it might take someone. They may wake up one day and be like, okay, this is my sign. So that's why we're staying in that same group.
Did you mention already that everything's organized in the guides in case people want to direct their people to that?
No, thank you.
Yeah, so Brittany went and organized everything from the last group into guides. So if you have new people and you want to like direct them there, you know, you can do that. It's all still there, but there obviously will be like updates too. Yeah. For this new group.
Look at how freaking cute this is. Like, this makes me want to join. I'm like, look at how cute that is. And I think too, I hope you guys can appreciate that too. Like Marlena, she's like carrying Max today. I'm like, is the baby okay? Like you know, like we don't need this right this second. She's like, oh, she's making me work, but we're making this happen. Like, to be able to have really professional looking things is important. And I know for me, it catches my eye. And so not only did Mar create and kind of update the look and feel, and we came up with this clever name, but she created Insta stories too for us all to use. And she finished those earlier today. So that's something too that we'll share maybe tomorrow, Mar, in the Coach CFY. So maybe you're like, I am scared shitless to even invite to coaching, but you're like, those are really cool graphics and I'm just going to throw one up. You never know. I will say the first time that I shared about coaching and invited to something with coaching, that's when Marlena and a couple coaches that have moved on, but like, that is what caught their attention, is me actually sharing about coaching because I never had in the past. So don't sleep on that shit and leverage these materials and resources because people pay a lot of money for this shit. And we are going to also be putting up a welcome post as well in the next day or two. But anything else there? I'm ignoring the chat. Tish, you're kicking ass and taking names. Do you have anything to share, babe? Oh, you're on mute.
Oh, I was trying to unmute. You know, just something that I realized, well, I'm realizing from being a super impatient person in general, knowing I'm sticking around for the long haul, things really do happen. I mean, and coming from somebody who legit didn't even know what Instagram was, like literally so like, you know, not good at that stuff. But something kind of along that same, just being patient, and you keep sharing the good stuff from your heart, being authentic and just showing up as you, because in the beginning, I felt like I paralyzed myself, wanting so much so fast and not having a clue how to get there because I was brand new, and thinking that I needed to like watch and mimic other people that I saw being successful. Well, I work a couple nights a week at a restaurant. And funny, I just learned, I'm like, God, I'm so glad I had this conversation with these people. I waited on these ladies, and literally wasn't even a shift that I was scheduled, but I picked up for somebody to help out. I ended up waiting on these, quiet please. I ended up waiting on these ladies, and they're probably like, I don't know, 5-7 years older than me. And they were like, oh my God, I don't want to sound like a creep, but like, we follow you all. Like, I've been following you for a long time. And I was like, oh yeah, you look familiar, which I think is just from being in a small, like we have probably like 35,000 people in this town. So everyone kind of looks familiar. And I'm like, oh yeah, we're probably friends on Facebook. We weren't, neither of them. And I just have my stuff public. And she's like, oh my God, I have been wanting to ask you for so long to help me get started and just share what it is that you're part of. I absolutely love watching everything that you share, like bits of all the things, your kids, your family, your food, your exercise, your being pregnant and not pregnant, and sharing just all the things. Like, she told me just about everything I've ever shared. And she's like,
wait, what's your handle again? Because we're signing you up.
right. Yeah. And we've been in contact, like literally in the process of sending both these ladies share cards. And they're like, I need to get my daughter started. I'm like, all right, wheels are turning, like you need to coach. And in that conversation, they were like, I've been wanting to ask you like to help me, but I've been so chicken. And I'm like, oh my God. I said, I love that I'm having this conversation, because once upon a time I was that coach and that person waiting, like, oh, I shared a selfie. Like, why is anyone inviting their self? You know, it just doesn't happen that way. And I'm like, I'm so glad we had this conversation, because now I get to help people start, and my girls start, and they're where I was. Or they say things like, well, I put up a poll on my story, but I'm not getting very much feedback, you know? And this is just a prime example of the invites matter. Like, you never know who's watching, you never know who needs that invite. And I mean, these ladies went on to talk about like, I feel so disgusting, I want to be like this. They're bringing up pictures from like 15 years ago, but I've been told that I can't look like this, or I can't accomplish this. And I'm like, oh my God, you are like fueling my heart right now, that I get to share all this. And like, I'm so sorry for your time. And I'm like, no, you have no idea. Like, this is my heart work. Like, if you will listen, I will talk. I love what I get to share. And once upon a time, it wasn't like that, because I was like, oh, nobody wants to hear from me. I don't have anything to share. And you just never know. And I can't even, I mean, it would take a long time to even like go into the entire conversation. I was like, holy crap, this is like everything that I've known that I get to be part of, but sometimes you doubt it. It's just, you just got to keep showing up for you, because they're watching and they need you, and they want you to, you know, they need this.
And I will just go ahead and say, Tish doesn't show up just when she feels like it.
God, no.
Tish is like one of the most consistent people on our team. She shows up and she shows out, and
Thank you.
she's proof. And she doesn't get discouraged if by XYZ. And don't get me wrong, like you have to, I have, like we have, because we want to help people, and we want to know, well, what are we doing wrong? What can we do better? What can we do different? But it just goes to show, if you don't give up and you stick with it, stuff like that happens. And you just hit a point where like people know that this is the real deal. This is not a fad. This is not you just trying to sling challenge packs. This is the real deal. And if you don't want to join me, then go ahead and keep watching me, because I'm going to be here. Okay. 8:02. My kids, I'm here by myself with my kids, and they were angels. I think no one's asleep. Hopefully that little shit.
He's probably tired. 2:30 in the morning.
You would have never known he woke up at 2:30 today. I'm like, well, I need whatever you have. I guess.
Right.
God.
That's a
All right. Well, thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Anyone like struggling with something or like need to get them titties up something or another? I think tonight was super inspiring and informational, but not like from a this is how to beat the Instagram social media algorithms. And I think that this is what we need once in a while.